to the Daily Allegory through astrological divination. Today's video is Chozzar's Draconian Invocation, a synthesis of Atlantean, Egyptian, and celestial magic for Neptunian and jovial empowerment through Thoth, Malthus, Thagirian, Ishmael, and Jophiel. Now, today's story is about a corrupt little community that resides at a private development. Their integral role in illicit activities and evidence that was thought to have been erased, resurfacing. I'm going to start with an invocation of diverse spiritual energies and intelligences. I call forth the intelligences across time and space, from ancient lands to celestial spheres. I open the gates to the ancient knowledge of lost realms. I invoke Chozzar, the enigmatic god of the Atlantean magic, the keeper of secrets beneath the waves. I connect with the deep forgotten currents of the Atlantean waters, calling forth the wisdom submerged in time. Tahuti, the thrice great scribe of divine words, lend me your clarity and wisdom. Newt, star goddess of the infinite sky, envelop me in your boundless mysteries and protection. From the spheres beyond, I call the spiritual intelligences Ishmael and the spear of Jupiter. Bring expansion, abundance, and justice. Jophiel, the angel of beauty and illumination, enlighten my understanding. And I draw upon the transformative essence of Neptune empowerment, dissolving illusions and opening my intuitive sight. From the paths of shadow and strength, Malthus, the great president of the infernal hierarchy, lend me your architectural wisdom and strategic insight. Thagirian, the disputer, the klepothic intelligence of the sun, grant me the strength to overcome opposition and find authentic light. I activate the sacred implements and sigils. I wield the first sigil, the power of the eye, to see all truths hidden and revealed. I wield the second sickle, the power of the sickle, to sever all binding illusions and reap the harvest of my will. I activate the Draconian sigil of Chozzar, linking my spirit to the potent primal magic of the dragon current. Let these combined energies, Atlantean, Egyptian, celestial, and infernal, merge within me. I am a conduit for this raw transformative power. I am aligned, I am empowered. So mote it be. Amen. Aho! I declare it so, and so it is. In the exclusive gated community of White Deer Park, Pennsylvania, a private enclave of sprawling manicured lawns and silent wealth, lived Elliot, a man wrestling with powerful astrological forces. Elliot, a meticulous historian, felt the heavy, structured hand of Jupiter, trine-sensitive degree Saturn in the 7th house, which bound him to a rigid code of ethics in his partnerships and made him an arbiter of sorts within the development's strict homeowners association. His professional calling, a quest for ancient hidden truths, was buoyed by a visionary Jupiter trine Neptune in the 9th, granting him profound intuitive insight into lost histories. But the peace of White Deer Creek was an illusion. A seismic Jupiter opposition Pluto in the 10th house was building, signaling an inevitable high-stakes power struggle that threatened his reputation and public standing as the HOA president. A challenging Jupiter square Chiron magnified a deep wound regarding his authority and belief system, while a hopeful Jupiter trine Lilith in the 12th whispered of hidden strength to be found in the shadows of his own psyche. Feeling concerned by the elite of his community who sought to oust him, Elliot realized conventional legal methods wouldn't suffice. The battle demanded an esoteric approach. He retreated to his private study, overlooking the development's artificial lake, and decided to dive into the forgotten lore of the Atlantean waters. Oh, what mysteries we might find in the bottom of that lake. He prepared a ritual space, focused entirely on the elusive Chozzar, god of Atlantean magic. He meticulously inscribed the intricate lines of the Draconian sigil of Chozzar, feeling the primal serpentine energy coil in the sterile air in his modern home. He sought a powerful Neptune empowerment, a way to dissolve the manipulative illusions his opponents were weaving within the community around him. Elliot invoked a pantheon of varied intelligences for strategy and insight. Tahuti, the celestial scribe, was called to lend intellectual clarity, while Newt, the infinite sky, provided boundless perspective. For the difficult task of dismantling his opposition, he channeled Malthus, the great architect. For strategic cunning, the Thagirian, known as the Disputer, to challenge and break down the false narratives his rivals used against him. He retrieved his sacred tools from a secret vault, the first sigil, the power of the eye, which granted him unerring intuition, allowing him to see the hidden machinations of his opponents. He then grasped the second sickle, the power of the sickle, a ceremonial tool ready to sever the binding ties of deceit and manipulation. The ritual climaxed with the introduction to celestial power, though. He focused on the expansive authoritative energy of planet Jupiter itself, calling upon the angelic intelligences Hishmael and Jophiel. Hishmael brought the force of justice and expansion to his cause, while Jophiel battled his intentions in the light of divine truth. The combined energies merged within Elliot. The structured discipline of his Jupiter-Saturn alignment found expression through Malthus's architectural strategy. While his visionary Jupiter-Neptune link was fueled by the power of the eye, the volatile Jupiter-Pluto opposition finally had a spiritual channel for controlled transformation. Armed with newfound insight and spiritual authority, Elliot systematically exposed the corruption within the HOA. He used the sickle's power to sever the influence of his rivals, and the eye's power to present undeniable proof of their misdeeds to the community. In the end, Elliot achieved profound vindication. Not only was he publicly recognized as the true guardian of the community's integrity, but he had also healed his core wounds, transforming the quiet affluence of White Deer Creek into a place governed by a deeper, more profound justice. And I've got another story about a place called Scott Township, Pennsylvania, with Jupiter and Cancer. Again, we're going to use the private development of White Deer Creek, we'll call it, nestled in Scott Township, Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania. The local homeowners association, a bastion of corruption, ruled by rigid conformity and a thirst for power. Their next target was a resident known simply as the Star, a brilliant, enigmatic astrophysicist named Dr. Fernandez, whose unusual home observatory and radiant persona clashed with the HOA's draconian rules. Fernandez was born under a powerful Jupiter in Cancer, a placement that gave him an expansive, protective nature, a deep love for his home, and an almost intuitive connection to the cosmic forces. This very placement put him on a collision course with the petty tyrants of the board, who saw his unique house and research as a threat to their community standards. They launched a relentless assault, fabricating violations and attempting to legally evict him. With the secret help of Rosa, whom was supposed to be his girlfriend but was secretly sleeping with the manager of the development to strategically plan and place things and steal from. Cornered and frustrated by the mundane legal system, Fernandez decided to fight fire with a much older, deeper kind of fire. He knew the HOA's corruption was rooted in structural power imbalance, one that required more than just local statutes to break. He delved into the esoteric knowledge he had quietly been accumulating, unbeknownst to them. When he was being illegally surveillanced, preparing for a monumental ritual in his observatory, his goal was a deep Neptune empowerment, a chase the dragon, if you will, distracting to make seen what needed to be seen while they thought was being seen what needed to be seen, if that makes sense. A path to dissolving the illusions of the HOA's false authority and unveiling their hidden agendas, insidious plot, and terroristic actions, at a minimum. He centered his working on the lost lore of the Atlantean waters and their enigmatic guardian, Chozzar, god of Atlantean magic. He meticulously traced the complex, draconian sigil of Chozzar, feeling the primal energy of the lost continent stirring beneath the perfectly manicured lawns of Scott Township. Dr. Fernandez began his invocation, calling upon a diverse pantheon of allies. Tahuti, the Egyptian scribe, was called for intellectual strategy and the power of the written word, which Fernandez needed for his defense, while maintaining record of things, writing them down, while things disappeared seemingly off of digital platforms. Newt, the boundless star goddess, offered him protection and the universal perspective he needed to transcend the petty squabble below. For the heavy lifting, he invoked powerful, challenging forces, though. Malthus, the great architect, was called to help him dismantle the HOA's flawed legal structure, while Thagirian, the disputer, provided the necessary adversarial energy to break their unified front. He armed himself with the symbolic tools, the first sigil, the power of the eye, which granted him unerring intuition, allowing him to see the hidden communications and secret deals of the board members, even if they used end-to-end encryption, Android-based communication systems are piggybacked off of IPs and hid behind geofences, VPNs, and proxies with self-destruct sequence software. He then grasped the second sickle, the power of the sickle, a ceremonial weapon for severing the corrupt parasitic attachments the HOA had to the community's finances and power. It was a folder with undeniable, undisputable evidence packed with absolutely everything they thought they had done in secret and behind the scenes, readily available to be turned in if things weren't made right. The final layer of this operation introduced the expansive energy of planet Jupiter itself, amplified by his powerful natal placement in Cancer. He channeled this authority through the angelic intelligences Hishmael and Jophiel. Hishmael brought the force of justice and expansion to his cause, while Jophiel bathed his attentions in a pure, illuminating light of divine truth and beauty. The energies merged into a powerful crescendo, though, within Dr. Fernandez's observatory. The power of the eye, mirrorless or not, showed him an email chain proving the board members were colluding for financial gain, or some insidious plot. The power of the sickle severed their influence with the local authorities, avoiding litigation with the police, whom he respected and desperately wished to avoid litigation against, allowing them to rectify an entire situation to avoid another tarnished on American justice system that Dr. Fernandez just inherently respected. Armed with this irrefutable proof and empowered by the combined wisdom of gods, demons, angels, and God above, Dr. Fernandez attended the next HOA meeting due to unanswered silence and requests to rectify the situation. He presented his evidence with the structural clarity of Toth and the disputing force of Thagirian. The corrupt board was systematically exposed, their power dissolving like mist under the intense glare of truths. Dr. Fernandez, the star of White Deer Creek, used his unique blend of celestial and chthonic magic to achieve total vindication. The Jupiter and Cancer energy ensured his home and community were protected, and the corrupt HOA was dismantled entirely and completely replaced by a structure that honored integrity and individual expression, and all directly involved faced jail time, fine, penalties, and restitution. The only twist here being the cops possibly doing the right thing last minute and saving an inevitable reckoning that would shake the nation. Hopefully you found this entertaining. I'll see you in the next video because I got two today.